The time has finally come. The 25-day closure of the Parkway East is officially underway. Tonight, for the next 3.5 weeks, KDKA is here to help you navigate it all. Good evening and thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Josh Taylor. The major traffic artery brings thousands of drivers across the Commercial Street Bridge daily, and over the next month, crews will take down the current bridge and slide the new one into place. KDKA's Ricky Sayer is live near the Parkway. Ricky, how's it looking out there right now?
Well, it's looking pretty good right now. We don't see any backups from the point we're standing at the ramp at Squirrel Hill. You know, we've been talking about this for months. I know our viewers have been talking about this for months, and now it is real. It was just about 15 minutes ago that we saw the final car exit the Squirrel Hill tunnel going west, and about 45 minutes before that, we saw the final one go through going east before PennDOT crews directed all cars to leave at the Squirrel Hill exit. Earlier this evening, we spoke with Pirates fans who were coming from the east side going to the game, talking to them about how this would all impact them. They told us, some did, that they were going to leave the game early to beat this closure. That did not end up being necessary because due to rain, that game was postponed. Drivers heading to tonight's Pirates game on the Parkway East couldn't help but take note of what they'll soon miss.
I wanted to stop halfway across the bridge and take pictures.
Just to say goodbye.
That's history.
To a bridge set to be demolished in just days.
It's going to be a mess.
Because of the traffic forced to go elsewhere.
It's going to be pretty tough, I think.
People who live east of the bridge and use the soon-to-be detoured route daily have been dreading this moment tonight.
I work down here too, so I'm stressed a little bit about next week as well.
I'm not going to come into town and after today.
He went back on that after realizing he could still take 28 in.
I'm imagining everyone's going to take Wilkinsburg. I imagine everyone's going to take Homestead. So it's going to get a little crowded.
Some will follow the posted detours. Others will undoubtedly chart their own paths.
They're probably going to break into my area to try and get here, so it's going to be a little tough.
Is this going to stop you from coming to Pirates games?
It's definitely going to have an effect, but, you know, maybe.
Never. We're Yinzers. We got to be here for the, for the teams, for the fans, for everybody. So we got to do it.
I've been through many constructions on the Parkway. You know, it is what it is. You know, and just got to deal with it.
So Pittsburgh's month-long pre-planned nightmare is now underway. You know, John, the first person we introduced you into that story, actually told us that he's more excited for this than worried about it because he wants to see the new bridge move into place. His wife then chimed in to point out that they don't really come into the city much, so it wasn't really something that was going to impact them. So there's that. Reporting live on the Parkway East, Ricky Sayer, KDKA TV News.
All right, Ricky, thank you. And PennDOT says map your route ahead of time. So take a good look. This is the inbound local detour. It will take you through several communities, including Swissvale, Rankin, and Homestead, and outbound in reverse. You'll get off at the Squirrel Hill exit, then take Beechwood Boulevard through Greenfield, back through Homestead, Rankin, and Swissvale before entering back onto the Parkway. And as many are making the switch for their daily commutes, one of the major detour routes is already a headache for drivers to begin with. We're talking about Route 28. Here's a live look right now along 28. And as you can see, the traffic is pretty clear at the moment. The set detour for drivers looking to take that route is to have them come from the turnpike and then hook onto 28. And PennDOT says there's not much they can do about backups that will happen on this path, but they are implementing rapid response teams to keep things moving if an accident does occur.
We are going to have additional tow trucks patrolling that site, our PennDOT interstate trucks that you often see out there. We're going to have an extra truck on that route, and they're going to be cycling through to try and help get disabled vehicles off the road or cleared quicker.
Officials say Freeport Road will see more cars and drivers will sit through several traffic lights. And we've crafted a tool to help you know how long your drive will be on any of the main detours. If you look to the bottom left of your screen, you'll see those drive times will show inbound in the morning and outbound during the evening commutes. And we'll have it available for every newscast until the closure is over.
At 5, it's the first full workday during the Parkway East closure. The road is closed between Squirrel Hill and Edgewood Swissvale. Crews are replacing the Commercial Street Bridge, and it's going to stay closed for about 22 more days. Thanks so much for joining us at 5. I'm Christine Sorensen.
I'm Ken Rice. This is a live look at the drive times for the Parkway East closure detours into and out of the city. Look for those outbound drive times in the lower left-hand corner of your screen as you get ready to navigate your trip home tonight.
Now we've got team coverage of the Parkway East closure. KDKA's Shelley Bortz is speaking with commuters who've changed the way they get to and from downtown Pittsburgh for the next 22 days.
And KDKA's Chris Hoffman begins our team coverage showing us how the progress is coming along on the Commercial Street Bridge replacement project.
Well, that day is here. It's a day some people worried about, feared, probably even cursed out at some point at this rate. But look at the old Commercial Street Bridge. You can see the work that's been done to take that deck down. PennDOT says about 60% of that is down. Now, that was as of this morning, and they've been working since then. They have to get all that down, that decking, before they implode it, which is expected later this week. While the old Commercial Street Bridge looks apocalyptic, the rush hour traffic wasn't the end of the world.
Things are progressing on schedule. That is the main point that I want to convey. We are on schedule with the project.
Good news for drivers and crews working out in this heat. With temperatures once again soaring, it's not expected to slow the work down, though.
These are tough people. They work around the clock. They work in snow and ice and hot weather. They're not going to stop.
Over the weekend, there was standstill traffic in Homestead. PennDOT is attributing that to the Big Boy train and the thousands of people who wanted to see it. But for the most part, PennDOT says detours are taking about 30 minutes.
We can make timing adjustments if needed, if we see issues. But we have a lot of resources at our fingertips, and we're going to try to help the public best that we can.
While the Parkway is closed, crews will mill and pave the Square Hill Tunnel, and emergency crews will do an exercise inside of it. There's no exact day yet for when the bridge will be imploded, but it's expected to be later this week. Crews are asking people to stay outside of an 800-foot perimeter or watch the live stream. Thermal drones will be looking for people who try to get inside that perimeter.
They will find you, so don't try to go down to the site. It's going to be very dangerous. That's why we have the live stream.
After a few days of cleanup, the work will begin to start sliding the new bridge into place, and that could happen as soon as next week.
Potentially, yes. If things continue to go on schedule, potentially, yes.
Now, once we know more about that implosion, we will be sure to keep you posted. We're expected to be given about a day's notice or so. And where we are has certainly become a tourist spot as people want to check out the work that's being done. In Squirrel Hill, Chris Hoffman, KDKA TV News.
The Parkway East closure is now facing its second test of the day, the evening commute, with thousands of commuters trying to make their way out of downtown and back home.
Shelley Bortz is live along one of the detour routes tonight. Shelley.
Yeah, well, this morning, many commuters were trying to figure out how to get downtown. Tonight, they're worried about getting home. Now, let me step out of the way here so you can see what we're talking about. You're taking a look now at the Homestead Grays Bridge, where you can see that traffic is really heavy right now as people are trying to learn their way around the Parkway East closure. Today, we did catch up with some commuters who we found out are taking very different approaches to dealing with the closure.
Had to get done, and what else are you going to do?
For thousands of commuters, the first workday of the Parkway East closure meant changing routines. Some drivers searched for alternate routes. Others left their cars behind altogether. At the Swissvale Park and Ride, commuters filled buses headed downtown as many looked for a way around the traffic. One regular rider says the impact was noticeable almost immediately.
No, it's been completely busy, overpacked. People been trying to get on without paying, and bus drivers have to argue with them, and that slows down and takes up everybody else's time and all, and then they get distracted that literally once they forgot to make the turn and had to make a U-turn.
Others chose to stay behind the wheel and navigate the detours themselves. One commuter says the backups have added as much as 30 minutes to what is normally just a short drive.
It was about 20 minutes to a half an hour to just get through the traffic, which is frustrating because it's usually like a 3-minute drive.
Whether by bus or by car, commuters say the closure is forcing them to rethink their daily commute. For many, the first workday wasn't just about getting to where they needed to go. It was about figuring out how they'll do it again tomorrow.
I try to stay off Braddock Avenue because I know the neighborhoods really well, so I try to take some of the side streets just to lessen the traffic on the posted detours.
And while some drivers are no doubt going to do that, PennDOT is really stressing that folks stay on the posted detours instead of taking shortcuts through neighborhoods. Now, again, this is for in the name of safety. They want everyone to stay safe until they are done with this construction. For now, we're reporting live in Homestead. Shelley Bortz, KDKA TV News.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us at noon on KDKA. I'm Barry Pintar. It is good to be with you, and it is a major day for the Commercial Street Bridge project on the Parkway East. Crews are set to implode the old structure and make way for the newly built bridge. They are working within a specific time frame to blast the bridge and bring it down. That window of opportunity opens in less than an hour at 1 p.m. and goes until 9 tonight. We know there's a lot of interest in this project, not just because of the daily impact it has on so many commuters, but also people living near the bridge, and even for those interested in seeing the demolition itself. So KDKA is committed to bringing you live coverage of the implosion throughout the day today. And that begins with team coverage here at noon. We have Erica Stanish on the ground near the blast zone. But first, we go to Chris Hoffman, who is watching over the progress in Squirrel Hill. Chris.
Yeah, Barry, at this point, you touched base on it there, top of the hour. That's when that window opens, and work is still being done on the old Commercial Street Bridge. You can see how much of that deck they got down. That was the main priority before they do this implosion. And a lot of the work we're seeing being done now is really at where the bridge kind of more or less connects to the Parkway. They're working on the Squirrel Hill side as well as the side that's closer to Edgewood, Swissvale, and we can see tons, literal tons of metal being taken out of here, cleared out. Now, to put in perspective, this isn't something new. PennDOT has done this before. You might remember the Halton Bridge. That was built. They tore down the old one. That was a few years ago. But this is more comparable to, if we go further back in the Wayback Machine, to Three Rivers Stadium and Acrisure Stadium, because these are about 20 feet apart. So it's similar to that, where the new structure is very close to the old structure. So they are still prepping at this point. The idea here is to obviously not have any damage to the new structure when they take down that old structure. Now, as to when this is going to happen, we're still waiting on that exact time. We are expected to have about 30-minute warning before all of this happens, and we'll be sure to let you know once we get that. But take a listen now to the project manager for this as he explains what they're doing when they bring down the old structure, make sure the new structure stays safe and intact.
Yeah, so it's buried in various fashions of fill material placed on top, thick wood crane mats are over top of it, along with steel plates. And again, more stone and aggregate on top of those to protect it. So we have multiple layers of protection in case something should get disturbed during the blast. It should protect the foundations.
And even some of those foundations, because when this new bridge slides into place, there are foundations it'll be attached to. So not only does PennDOT, when they do this, have to make sure the old structure doesn't damage the new structure, there's the foundations that are where that bridge is going to go, and they have to make sure those stay intact as well. So literally and figuratively, a lot of moving parts with this. Again, that window opens at the top of the hour. Once we know a more exact time of when they are bringing this down, we'll be sure to let you know, both on air and online. And again, it's an 800-foot perimeter. They're saying don't sneak in because they will have thermal drones watching. Live along the Parkway East, Chris Hoffman, KDKA TV News.
Despite an 8-hour window it had announced for today, tonight PennDOT ended up postponing the Commercial Street Bridge demolition until tomorrow morning. PennDOT initially said it would demolish the bridge today between 1 and 9 p.m., but with less than an hour to go, they scrapped that plan, saying they would wait another day. We have been in team coverage mode all day today, and now it's the night shift's turn. Jennifer Barrasso and Ricky Sayer have the latest updates on the project and reaction to the postponement. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Ken Rice. Let's get right into our team coverage with Jen Barrasso live in Squirrel Hill with the latest details from PennDOT. Jen.
Well, Ken, they ran out of time to get it safely done in the daylight, so they are doing it tomorrow. According to a PennDOT spokesperson, the demolition will happen sometime between 8 and 11 in the morning. And Ken, we knew that something was wrong, people around me, when they saw workers on the old bridge around 8 o'clock at night. Now, then around 8:30, PennDOT announced the demolition was postponed while the contractor continues safety preparations. Now, measures have been taken to protect the new bridge. PennDOT is wrapping the Commercial Street Bridge to block debris from the blast and shield the new 22 million pound replacement bridge. What's next after this explosion? The construction company, Demolition, the construction company, Fay SMB USA Construction, says the first step is making sure all of the crews, everybody is safe and the site is secure. The next phase, the cleanup, removing thousands of tons of concrete and steel at the bottom of the ravine along Commercial Street in Frick Park. Crews will break down that concrete and steel so it can be cleared and hauled away. I'm told that will take a few days. Earlier, we talked to Mammoet. That is the company that is going to slide that new bridge in once this is all over.
Once we start, you'll see the hydraulic cylinders at the base of each of the skid shoes move out and then move the bridge piece by piece from where it is now to where the old bridge currently stands. The system's capable of talking to itself, so to speak. There are 4 sets of skid shoes, two each on either of the abutments and 2 on the piers, that all talk to each other to make sure that we carry the load and don't overly stress it as it reaches its final location. It's a delicate process, yeah. But one that's backed up by many months of engineering. We're specialists in doing this.
And he says moving that bridge will take some time. In fact, he says it will move about 19 feet per hour. And this whole project is supposed to be finished up by August 3rd. Now, we just learned that PennDOT is going to brief the media tomorrow about 2 hours after this happens to give a progress update on everything. Reporting live, Jennifer Barrasso, KDKA TV News.
Thanks. Our team coverage continues with Ricky Sayer on Commercial Street with reaction from people who showed up today eager to see the bridge crumble.
There's a whole lot of disappointment for the many people who wanted to see in person this bridge come down. They waited for hours, and instead of seeing an implosion, all they saw was a whole lot of prep work. The spot to be was the Somerset neighborhood. There's a nice view from there. People lined up against a wall, and they thought at times that the demolition was just about to take place, but it wasn't meant to be. The project has been the subject of fascination for many, especially the idea that this new bridge would be slid into place and the old bridge would be demolished without hurting the new one. That's what brought so many people out. Some people tonight brought their dogs, others brought their kids, and here's what some people told us.
Very disappointed because I've been watching this project since day one. I drive a school bus, and half of my route is on that side, commercial, and half is on this side. And I've driven under there twice a day, every day, taking my students home. So I've watched the entire progress. So I'm that we were here this evening to see this. Now I'm disappointed because I have to go to work tomorrow.
Well, it stinks because I had to move a hair appointment to be here, and but I'll just try to come back tomorrow. So.
It's also worth noting that if you were hoping to watch the demolition from the Swiss Helm Park side on Commercial Street, that's no longer going to be possible. That's because of how far crews are keeping people back. Reporting in Swiss Helm Park, Ricky Sayer, KDKA TV News.
And with that, the old Commercial Street Bridge is no longer standing. After months of planning and an unexpected delay, the demolition went ahead at 8 o'clock this morning. Thanks for joining us at noon. I'm Barry Pintar. It is good to be with you. PennDOT and the construction crew at the Commercial Street site made the call late last night to delay that implosion until this morning. PennDOT says crews ran out of daylight and weren't ready to safely proceed last night. We are told crews were not ready to safely proceed, and they wanted to wait, as we mentioned, until the sun came up today. KDKA's Jessica Riley was near the blast site for this morning's implosion. She joins us now with more details about those dramatic moments, Jess.
Good afternoon, Barry. Yeah, quite the morning. Seriously, watching these crews implode the old Commercial Street Bridge, something you could feel, you could hear, just feel ruptured through your body. Seriously, an interesting sight and something that I'm never going to forget seeing myself. I want to show you, though, what's the aftermath now. Pretty cool to see here. These crews are really right back to work here. You can see where that bridge was. Now you see the equipment down there really cleaning up that area, getting ready for those next steps here. So I heard you mentioning about yesterday. Let's go back to yesterday. PennDOT says that it was important to note, even though it was scheduled for yesterday, PennDOT says they simply lost that daylight when it came to wrapping those explosives and bridge, and out of an abundance of caution, they moved it to this morning and everything went smoothly. In fact, they say that today's demolition went perfectly. Everyone was safe during the process and no damage was done to that new bridge. But now begins that major portion, cleaning up and getting ready to slide over the new 22 million pound, you can't believe that, Commercial Street Bridge into place.
First step is to establish access. There's a bridge laying down there on the ground, so they got to get themselves access for the trucks to get in and out. They're already breaking up the concrete pieces, so our best guess, the next major portion of this bridge project is to slide the new bridge into place. We expect that to happen next week sometime.
And that new bridge, in total, it's going to be moved at a total of 120 feet and take 25 to 30 hours to do so, as it's one of the largest bridge slides ever performed here in Pennsylvania. But as we see crews right now, they still have to mechanically remove the ends of the deck, pillars, and clean up before then. So even with yesterday, this demolition happening today, PennDOT says that they're moving on schedule, and you heard it through their next week is when we could eventually see that new bridge being slid into place. Really cool stuff here. Reporting live in Squirrel Hill, Jessica Riley, back to you, Barry.
Yeah, Jess, thank you. Amazing how quickly they could move with that massive structure. And as we just saw, just a matter of seconds, explosive brought down the remaining structure of that Commercial Street Bridge. But long before that blast, people were already lining up for a front row seat to that history. KDKA's Shelley Bort shows us why some traveled miles just to watch that bridge come down.
The countdown lasted hours. The demolition itself lasted only a few seconds. But for the people who gathered here above the Parkway East, witnessing the end to the 75-year-old Commercial Street Bridge was something they didn't want to miss.
It feels like a special moment.
Some arrived early with cameras and binoculars. Others simply wanted to be part of a moment that will reshape one of Pittsburgh's busiest highways. When the explosives finally detonated, decades of history came crashing down in a cloud of dust.
It was really cool. It happens like much quicker than you thought. It's like you kind of heard the boom, you saw the smoke, and boom, it was gone. So it's really nifty.
For many, it wasn't just about seeing a bridge demolished. It was about witnessing a massive engineering project unfold in real time. And while the implosion grabbed the attention, what's happening next may be just as remarkable. Crews will now begin the process of moving a 22 million pound replacement bridge into place over the Parkway East.
It was wild hearing the sound, seeing the smoke, and it's really an amazing feat of engineering. I don't know a lot about bridges, so it's completely fascinating to me. Pittsburgh needs some infrastructure help, and this is a step towards that.
The implosion may have been over in seconds, but its impact will be felt for some time. For people who watched it happen, it was a rare chance to witness a piece of Pittsburgh's history disappear before their eyes.
I've seen a couple things go down. Not saying it's a hobby or anything, but so it's more or less what I thought, but it was really neat.
PennDOT says moving the replacement bridge into place will take about 24 hours and will be one of the largest bridge slides ever in Pennsylvania. Reporting in Squirrel Hill, Shelley Bortz, KDKA TV News.
Yeah, definitely a piece of history. Thank you for that, Shelley. And of course, our coverage of the Commercial Street Bridge project is far from over. Join us on KDKA tonight to learn more about this morning's demo and hear more from PennDOT about the progress being made at the site. And of course, stay with KDKA for updates about when crews plan specifically to slide the new bridge into place, all before they reopen the Parkway East next month.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Erica Stanish. The 22 million pound Commercial Street Bridge took its maiden voyage today. Crews began sliding the bridge toward its permanent spot this morning. Check out this time lapse as crews started work around 10 this morning to shift the bridge into its new home. And it comes just 3 days after the implosion of the old bridge. KDKA's Ricky Sayer found out why some people found a slow process so captivating.
The full slide is 102 feet. Most of that was done today. Work was paused with just a few feet to go. A PennDOT spokesperson told us that pause was planned. In the blink of an eye, the old Commercial Street Bridge came down. But blink now, and the slide of the new bridge doesn't seem like a slide at all.
You don't even notice it. You have to like look away, then look back.
That's when this becomes this.
You just watch the gap there, and the gap ever so slightly gets smaller.
Gail Wedner, her husband, and countless others took it all in from a nearby hill.
I can see how it moves since we've been here. Because remember, honey, there were 2 of those red gizmos, and now you can only see 1. It's very slow, but it's exciting.
I guess impressive might be the better word.
Wedner thought about that too.
You can't say it's exciting to watch because, you know, it's not like an action movie. But it's a marvel.
It's amazing to see how they can do this kind of thing.
I mean, I think it's like an engineering feat. I mean, I'm proud to be a Pittsburgher with, you know, this is one of the only times in the world or the country that this kind of bridge has been moved.
Years ago, he said this wouldn't have been possible, ultimately meaning the disruptions to Pittsburghers would have been far greater.
And seeing all those guys working down there, I mean, it's a heroic feat.
You know, the fact that they could do this in such a short period of time and move that over, it's just a remarkable achievement. That's what's exciting, I think.
It's a case where speed wasn't needed to create excitement. Ingenuity had it all covered. A PennDOT spokesperson told us that during the pause tonight, concrete is being poured. They said they plan to pick up the slide tomorrow. Reporting in Pittsburgh's Somerset neighborhood, Ricky Sayer, KDKA TV News.
Well, you are now going to take a look live at the new Commercial Street Bridge, which could open to traffic sooner than previously expected. Crews started sliding that bridge into place yesterday morning and paused for some pre-planned concrete work overnight with only 6 feet to go. Now they have resumed the moving process and should be finishing up at any time. Then they will settle the bridge onto its foundation. PennDOT updated the progress during a press conference this morning, and our Chris Hoffman was there and asked the question: could the Parkway reopen sooner than August the 3rd? And Chris joins us live from Squirrel Hill with the answer. Chris.
Well, John, right now, PennDOT says there is the potential that this could all reopen sometime next week. We'll let them explain a little bit more in a minute. Take a look at what's going on here. You can see the crews still removing a lot of that debris from the old Commercial Street Bridge, and you can see where the new Commercial Street Bridge is sitting right in that gap between the 2 hillsides on the far side of the Parkway East and the Squirrel Hill Tunnel side of the Parkway East. That work is a lot of what needs to still be done, getting that bridge down and getting the approaches to both sides paved. Now, there are obviously incentives to get the contractors to get this done early. Right now, the bridge still needs to move another 6 feet or so from yesterday to be put into place. It moved about 96 feet over 7 hours Sunday and got as far as they could go with the equipment that is set up. Now, with the implosion and the majority of the slide behind them, PennDOT executive Jason Zhang says the 2 biggest risks are now behind them. Once this bridge is put in place, there is some paving and a protective coating that will be added to the deck to preserve it from wear and tear.
Dare you say it, and dare I say it actually even more. Yeah, we are actually looking at an early opening. The best I can tell you right now is maybe maybe the middle of next week, plus or minus.
Now, with that being said, it can also very quickly change. Zhang says this is also weather dependent because now we're to the point where they're going to start doing a little bit more paving. And if it's raining, can't exactly put down concrete during all that, so Mother Nature could play a role here. But again, certainly tracking earlier than that August 3rd opening. As for Commercial Street, where you can see right there, it's still under a bunch of debris. So that is not slated to open early at this point. They're still hoping for August 3rd. Coming up a little bit later this afternoon, we have some people, they were saying, like, you know, Google Maps, Apple Maps was saying Commercial Street's open. It's certainly not. We have PennDOT telling you why that happened over the weekend. Live in Squirrel Hill, Chris Hoffman, KDKA TV News.
All right, Chris, thanks.
Breaking news as we come on the air at 7:30. The Commercial Street Bridge is now open 1 week ahead of its expected deadline. And now PennDOT just let drivers go across the brand new bridge for the very first time. Thanks for joining us tonight at 7:30. I'm Jessica Guay, and joining us right now is Jennifer Barrasso. She's live overlooking the bridge from Squirrel Hill, where we're now seeing the first cars crossing the bridge earlier than expected, Jen.
Yeah, that's right, Jess. As we were walking down to our live shot, several people were saying, can you hear the cars going over? Can you see the trucks? So take a live look here. You're seeing, obviously, the brand new Commercial Street Bridge, Parkway East. PennDOT tells me westbound lanes, they opened at 7:14 and the eastbound lanes at 7:23. So it came early. This project coming a week early, actually. So earlier today, there was a news conference. We're going to show you some of that video right now. We got a first look at the brand new bridge. PennDOT's transportation secretary gave PennDOT project organizers and contractors big praise. They touted their efforts for the innovation used in this project that drastically cut down this closure time.
When you think about the delays that would have been experienced by this region with the traditional delivery of this project, as the governor said, about 4 years worth of orange cones and cattle chutes, and to distill that down to 17 days for me is a far superior trade than 4 years worth of cattle chutes and orange cones. You just don't have to be a civil engineer to realize we are looking at an engineering marvel.
And back here live, once again, this is breaking news that there are cars and trucks traveling for the first time after crews have been working around the clock for this Commercial Street Bridge on the Parkway East. The eastbound lanes and the westbound lanes are open. And right now, we have people coming over to document this. Just very excited. And we're going to have more reaction coming up in later shows. For now, reporting live over the new Commercial Street Bridge, Jennifer Barrasso, KDKA TV News.
All right. Thank you so much, Jen.
When you think about the delays that would have been experienced by this region with the traditional delivery of this project, as the governor said, about 4 years worth of orange cones and cattle chutes, and to distill that down to 17 days for me is a far superior trade than 4 years worth of cattle chutes and orange cones.
Win for drivers who rely on the Parkway East. After weeks of work and years of preparation, the Parkway reopened tonight 1 week ahead of schedule. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Ken Rice. The project was expected to take 25 days. They got it done in 17, demolishing the old Commercial Street Bridge and sliding over an all-new one.
This is an 11,000-ton bridge, 825 feet, and we got it done in just 17 days. This will forever be known as the Pittsburgh Slide Bridge. That's what we're calling it going forward.
KDKA's Jennifer Barrasso joins us live from near the new bridge. Jen, they even beat the expected 8 p.m. reopening time.
Ken, are you surprised? Now, people are ecstatic, as you can imagine. Take a listen and look behind me. You can see traffic flowing on the new Commercial Street Bridge. A PennDOT spokesperson telling me that both directions, westbound and eastbound, opened at the same time, and that happened just before 7:30 earlier. Now, at a news conference, we were there take a look at the brand new bridge. Governor Shapiro, Mayor Corey O'Connor, and PennDOT's Transportation Secretary gave PennDOT project organizers and contractors big praise for innovation used in this project that drastically cut down the closure time. The contractor in line for about $2 million, a $2 million bonus for getting this done as early as they did. In the meantime, take a look at this. This is brand new cell phone video sent to KDKA by Kaylee Narishoff and Maddox's neighbors, her boyfriend. They tell me that they were the very first driver to go over the brand new Commercial Street Bridge on the Parkway East. Take a listen to what they told me minutes ago.
Well, we were going back to my apartment in Oakland, and then we were supposed to take the Wilkinsburg exit, but he said, let's see if the bridge is open. And I was like, well, whatever. If it's not open, we can go to Edgewood, Swissvale exit. But we got there, and we were stopped. And there was one car in front of us, and no one was moving, and a big line is forming behind us. And I'm like, what's going on? And then that guy got out of the truck.
Yeah, and then he said, like, oh, you guys are going to be the first people to be across the bridge. And we were like, okay, we'll wait here. Yeah. And then there was a BMW in front of us, and they were like, I don't know, they were kind of scared. They were pressing on their brakes. So we were just like, all right, I'll pull up beside them, and I'll see if they want to come with us. And then they were like, no, go ahead, go ahead. And then we just went around, and we were right behind the police escort.
Timing is everything, right, Ken? So Commercial Street, which is below us, that is not reopening tonight. That is going to, crews are still working that area, cleaning up the debris. That is supposed to reopen August 3rd. But for now, people are just excited, ecstatic. Their commute is going to be a lot different tomorrow morning, Ken. Reporting live above the new Commercial Street Bridge, Jennifer Barrasso, KDKA TV News.
All right, Jen, thanks. And despite the reopening of the bridge, all the work isn't done yet. KDKA will be monitoring the debris that still needs to be removed from under the bridge and will help you navigate the first morning rush with the new bridge tomorrow on the KDKA TV Morning News.